Good morning to all traders on this Friday, the 25th of September. So the US stocks received a boost yesterday after Nancy Pelosi, the Democratic Speaker of the House of Representatives, said she was ready for negotiation on a new coronavirus relief plan. Congressional leaders and the White House have so far failed to agree more fiscal stimulus for the US economy, as talks stalled several weeks ago. US jobless claims, on the other hand, did not see much of a difference from the previous week. However, the numbers managed to steer clear of the 1 million mark seen in the last few months. The pound was able to claw back a bit of ground yesterday to end a 4-day decline against the dollar. This comes after the UK Chancellor announced his post-furlough plan. However, employers have already spoken out against the new measures, saying that it is unviable for all businesses, as they expect mass unemployment in the UK when the new plan comes into place on November the 1st. To put the new plan into context, at the height of the original furlough scheme, the government paid 80% of workers' wages, but under the new scheme it will pay a maximum of 22%. So with the stocks in the news, I want to take a look at Tesla first of all today. We've seen that in the past few days their battery day wasn't as good as they thought it was going to be, as shares fell. However, recent fiscal stimulus hopes meant that the tech sector did close a bit higher yesterday. So as we can see here, the downside of the stock split, and then we had some positivity, and then over the past few days we've seen a bit of a decline due to, as I said, the battery day not taking off as well as anticipated, but we've seen a slight pullback on the upside in the last trading session. So what I'm checking here, if I just zoom in a little bit, is we're away from the cloud now. It's going towards this convergence line with the Tenkan and Kijun lines, so we could see a little bit more of an upside going into around the $450 area. So if I just bring it down to the 4-hour chart just to get a bit more of an intraday perspective. So what I'm seeing at the moment in the last few trading sessions, we've had a bit of a divergence on the indicator here to indicate that prices will push lower, which they have done. Now I'm just seeing this other divergence at the moment to see how strong it will be to take prices up, as we can see back into the cloud. So I'm just going to put a Fibonacci on the monthly high to the monthly low. Zoom in a bit more. So what I can see here is we're testing this region here of the $370, where we are ranging at the moment and trying to push up around the $400 mark. So that's where it's trading at the moment and the close of the session yesterday. So when the session opens today, I'll be interested to see if we can push to this region here, which is the 50%, and then possibly to the recent highs witnessed, which is about $455-ish. If we can find a bit of support at this line, if we can break through this resistance barrier, then we can go back up to the recent highs seen since the stock split. So a quick look on Boeing now. Since the middle of the year, we've seen that bias has mainly been towards the downside. If I just put this channel here to accentuate that. So they've had many technical problems with obviously a lack of demand for their recent new Dreamliner that's been made, and obviously with the lockdowns across the globe. So what I'm seeing here is some tests at the lower regression and on the upper regression, but as I said before, the bias is towards the downside. What I'm looking at now is it to test this medium regression line again and then to fall lower. So if it hits this and tests and breaks through, we can see a move towards the 120 mark, which will be quite significant. Again, like Tesla, I just want to get an intraday perspective. So at the moment we're seeing that prices are trading far away from the cloud, which is at the upper regression, and we're seeing that prices are going to the medium regression. So I'm just going to put again from the recent highs to the lows at the moment. So we're looking around the confluence of the medium regression and the lower Fibonacci zone. The last time that it was at this level, the low, was at the beginning of August, and now we're seeing prices, as I said, break through that area and we're hitting new lows at the moment. So what I'll be looking at today, as the session goes into full swing later on in the day, if it can bounce off this line, hit the medium regression, there is a possibility to test the upper regression again. However, with prices trading so far away from the cloud and the Kijun and Tenkan lines, I fully expect it to drop lower as I said, towards the first test of the median regression, which is a 140, and then as we go down, there is room for more downside. So that's all from me today. Thank you very much for joining me, and if you have any comments, please add them to the video, and I'll get back to you as soon as possible. Have a great trading day ahead and a great weekend ahead. Bye for now.